Welcome to Centennial Gym tonight. It's senior night. Let's go.
Welcome back to Episcopal High School in the Humble Bowl.
Welcome back to Bryant Field.
Court.
Live from Bocock Wrestling Cage.
I'm ready for this game. Oh,
Great
shot scores.
Here, he goes up.
Puts it down.
He's going for the win. That kid is not getting up.
Wow. Takes it almost 60 yards. Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, what a shot that shot in.
She is really a dominant player. To Winnie, oh, another goal. Another great one from Winnie Hughes.
Swing and a miss. Strike and a miss. Swing and a miss.
She's going to put a shot up over the head, and she scores! Puts the soccer team on top in the second period of overtime. Back it over to goal! The kid does it.
The Maroon getting really fired up, and I can help to get fired up too, Charles.
We're going to need this. We need this energy today.
Coming to you from Ainsley Court, this is EHS Live on a ruckus senior night. The Episcopal Girls Varsity team plays against Madeira, who've made the trek from McLean, Virginia. Seniors are being honored as we speak. Rousing ovation from Anya, a UConn lacrosse commit, certainly been an impact player in her few years for the Maroon. Cover Dixon, the other senior honor today, co-captain, also made contributor for the Episcopal team the past few years. Definitely a great player.
We have the seniors on this team averaging over 10 points per game. Massive presences on the court.
As starting lineups are being presented, these two teams met on January the 8th. Episcopal with a dominating victory, 61-29. Episcopal riding a 5-game winning streak coming into this one, senior night. Have to imagine expectations are high for this one.
That's true. This team's got 3 dominant scores, averaging over 10 points per game, with Covert-Dixon taking the lead with an average of 12 points. It's going to be hard to stop this Episcopal offense, even with Madeira's limited bench.
Madeira trying to get a win, rise a spot in the standings as we begin to look at tournament play potentially. Episcopal towards the top of the standings in the ISL, I believe.
That is true. Madeira's looking to show a flash of their offense. They've been able to do that throughout the season. They just haven't found a consistent rhythm from game to game. Let's see what they can do here.
For Episcopal, continuing to build the success. As I mentioned, 5-game winning streak, trying to make it 6. And this team, certainly lots of momentum. You have to imagine they're already looking forward to the postseason, but not looking past Madeira today. The Snails certainly trying to make a statement.
Yeah, with strong point pressure from Genesis Villegas and quick perimeter offense from Covert-Dixon, Episcopal will often prefer to push the pace early. That's something that Madeira's going to have to control, converting the rebounds into transition points and forcing early defensive adjustments. Madeira's going to have to resist that as much as possible and try to slow the game down and use as much clock as they can. You know, really bring the tempo down to their speed if they want to control this game.
Pushing the pace, certainly what Coach Katrina Reed has been emphasizing the entire season. And as Jay alluded to, that is what the Maroon will do today. Madeira, only 6 players, a couple of injuries impacting their rotation.
Second chance points today will be huge for Madeira. If they can manage to make every possession one that is impactful, it'll be hard for the Maroon to keep momentum and stay in the fight.
For Madeira, the lineup is Amel, Zikora, Mia, Amaka, and Luisa. For Episcopal, Nisha Roy, Genesis Villegas, Maddie Martinez, Anya Everett, and Covert-Dixon. Madeira in the red, the Maroon in the white. We are underway, and the tap is controlled by Madeira. Looping pass, mid-range pull-up jump shot will rattle off. Offensive rebound that is tapped around and controlled by the junior from New York. Nisha Roy, bring it up. Dixon firing a 3. Book it. Early 3 from the senior who was honored before the game, Covert-Dixon.
We will be sure to see more of that as the game goes on. Episcopal switching up their offense just a little bit. Instead of using the paint, they're going to be focusing on more of the outside because they know Madeira has looked at their film and knows where they're going to try to run. Madeira is going to be trying to, block off that interior and prevent the Maroon from getting inside the 3 line, But, with Covert-Dixon and Genesis Villegas taking shots, I don't know if it'll even make a difference.
Perimeter shooting definitely important for Episcopal today, facing a zone like Madeira likes to play. The Maroon have been streaky from behind the arc this season, as we see Nisha flashing. And another perimeter shot already down, 2 threes. That one from Nisha Roy. Little 1-2-2 half-court trap being employed. The Maroon love these types of press situations for turnovers like that. Oh, near turnover, I should say. But it's tapped away. Genesis, the junior from Costa Rica, patient on the interior and lays it in. And already an 8-0 lead for the Maroon.
Those are the explosive in-transition points that the Maroon are looking for. Coach Reed is definitely going to be happy with that one.
It is Zikora trying to handle the press. Full court pass launched. Covert-Dixon underneath the basket. Cannot finish the layup. And is tapped out of bounds, will stay. The side of Episcopal.
Those defensive rebounds are crucial for Madeira if they want to stay in this game. They cannot be giving up those transition points like they just did.
You didn't want the game to get away early as Anya Everett's shot falls off rim and Maddie Martinez is fouled on the way up. As analyst Jay Sigler alluded to, free throws definitely important for the Maroon today, as that one will rattle in and out.
Something that Episcopal has struggled with as of late, has come to bite them in close games.
There haven't been many close ones recently, though. Episcopal have been dominating the competition recently. 1 of 2 made from Martinez, and Victoria Pia checks in for Nisha. Bit of a taller lineup being employed now. Firing a pass on the wing, breaking the press. Everett defending. Now it is Amel. That one couldn't find the bottom of the net, and Maddie Martinez gives it to Genesis. Pass underneath, Everett, patient on the inside, could not convert. Now transition opportunity. This is Mia, 1-on-2, hop, step, and a jump, and the floater just glances. And another push, 1-on-1, Genesis. Right past Amel, and it is 11-0. Early deficit for Madeira.
Quite puzzling to see the Madeira trying to force their offense to go quickly here. You'd think they want to slow it down and try and control this Maroon defense, but no, as Genesis drives in for a quick 2. 13-0 with the Maroon.
Great hesitation move. Gets her defender to stop just for that quick moment. Right to the lane, and now that one will stay with the Snails. Official logo of Madeira, I do believe. Substitutions for both sides. That one, dangerous pass taken in. Haven't seen Madeira really been able to have much success in the half court thus far. Multiple pivots. Now into the post, deflected away by Kincaid. Definitely improved the defensive side this year.
100%. The Madeira, they really got to start moving around more. I mean, I'm seeing kind of a stagnant offense here, and that's not going to help with the Maroon. They've been really forcing turnovers in transition, but they've got to be able to move like that, and that's an easy 2 for Madeira. Finally, points.
Nice move there. It was Zakora with the left hand. 13-2 now as Madeira on the board for the first time in just under 3 minutes. Now 2-3 zone. Everett, the excellent senior player. Perimeter shots have been falling. Nice cut by Genesis. And an easy 2 right underneath the basket.
Genesis already up to 8 points today. And that was a puncture of Madeira's zone defense, which they cannot have throughout the rest of the game.
Amel weaving her way to the basket, and the floater falls short. More transition points looking. Nisha will back it out. Perimeter, Genesis. Certainly had quite the run the last few games. Madeira falls back to the zone. A little bit stagnant on this possession from Episcopal. Kincaid launches. Is that a pass?
I believe it was.
The ball hit the rim, shot clock resets. Everett's jump shot rattles in and out. Excellent hustle from Kincaid. Extra opportunity. High arcing 3. Not there. Kincaid, 4th try. 5th opportunity, not there. And batted out of bounds back to the Madeira side.
Coach Reed definitely displeased with that possession. That's just, you got to come away with points on that possession. It's just kind of unfortunate. The Maroon wasn't able to capitalize on those 3 opportunities there.
Full court trap from Episcopal. You've seen that. Multiple instances as haven't seen that one before. It's Madeira facing a 13-point early deficit. Scoring margin has been this way almost the entirety of the game. Episcopal had the foot on the gas pedal, didn't let up, but that's a good basket from Amel as the push shot will fall through.
Yeah, sorry, cracked real bad. Be careful.
Covert Dixon facing the zone, step through and a foul. Another crafty move there from the senior leader. Dixon's first, drops in. Substitution now.
Cover is also the leading member of the team in free throw percentage.
Now, Jay, what has Episcopal done to really get off to this fast start, as we've seen?
Well, they've been able to force transition points just like that, and they've been able to get offensive rebounds and really capitalize on their opportunities in the paint and beyond the three. And it's just been hard for Madeira to get the ball down the court into the offensive side, and their transition defense is not up to par with the Maroons' transition offense.
Certainly, as alluded to earlier, Episcopal loves to get out in transition. Nearly a steal from Maddie Martinez. Amel looks for an opening. It is Mia on the wing. And the mid-range two draws contact as she will head to the free throw line.
Second foul from the Maroon today.
First free throws for Madeira. Episcopal really dominated the glass so far, seeing multiple second chance points. One of two from the line. Episcopal still holding an 11-point lead. Defense has been good thus far. Haven't really had much trouble against this 2-3 zone as we see Dixon navigating on the wing. Pass on the inside. Good hands there from Madeira. Covert Dixon. Nisha, great facilitator. Cross-court pass. Genesis tosses it away as Anya was trying to post up, not on the same page there.
Yeah, the connection simply wasn't there, and I'm wondering, will the Madeira switch to a man-to-man offense, or will they stick with this zone? It's not really working, as we can see. It's an 11-point game, and I'm wondering if they want to switch it up and maybe try a different type of defense.
We have to expect what they've been working on in practice is this zone defense. As another turnover. Genesis, nice pass in transition. Everett goes up. Could not get the easy one, but Martinez, open look for three, is air, and that one will go back to Madeira.
Yeah, with rebounding contributions from Everett and Villegas, Episcopal can definitely rebound defensively and offensively, and they've been really taking advantage of that. But they simply haven't been able to execute on their second opportunities and third opportunities, as we've noticed as of late.
Hacking at the ball was Episcopal. It's another foul, third one of the quarter. Now against the press, it is Amel. Long two taken and swished in by Mia. Certainly need those shots to fall, does Madeira.
100% bringing it in closer, trying to apply pressure on the Maroon, maybe getting them to crack.
Again, the zone defense. Nice pass on the interior, and Victoria, the flip shot falls in. Transition, Mia, fast pace and another foul on the floor. Episcopal a little too handsy on the last few possessions.
Coach Reed is expressing that she's not upset with the Maroon on that foul. She knows that, Maddie Martinez was just working towards the ball there, and she definitely wants the Maroon to have those types of fouls. Miss Reed stresses that if you're going to get a foul, she wants it to be from an effort shot or an opportunity to steal and not a needless shooting foul, of course. But she has no issue with any sort of contact foul or any sort of floor foul.
3 was well off the mark, but deflected out of bounds. So staying with Madeira, and the high off the backboard going down. It was Zakora. Nice move for 2. Quickly now comes Episcopal. Victoria posting up. That one will rattle home, and it is 20-9 now. Episcopal done a great job. Some of the passing as trap and ripped away. Nice play by Genesis. Long pass. It was Cover. 1-2. Genesis Villegas right by her man. Floater is off back iron. And a chaotic pace of back and forth. And finally, the Maroon will slow it down. On the interior, Everett powers her way in. I believe a jump ball's called as she was deflected in midair and then errantly tossing it off a Madeira defender.
This kind of curious. We've seen the Maroon slowing down the ball more than the Madeira have. You know, I would think that with the limited bench opportunities for Madeira, they want to slow and preserve the stamina of their players, but that just has not been what they've been doing so far.
Everett may have forced that shot as it deflected off the side backboard from way downtown before the buzzer. That was well off by Mia, but a nice little run by Madeira to close the quarter as the lead has tightened ever so slightly to 11.
100%. Coach Reed's probably going to touch on the transition offense and the offense in general here. They want to execute on those second opportunities, and they want to make sure that they make the Madeira pay for any sort of steals or errant passes that they have. Along in the Madeira huddle, we're probably going to talk about slowing down that transition offense and really giving yourself time to handle the ball and control it and not dribble down court and possibly let go of it or have a steal or get trapped. Definitely a lot of movement needed on the offensive side as well.
You have to imagine that eventually fatigue may start to come into play for Madeira, as only 6 players on the active roster for today. Episcopal definitely trying to get those shots at the rim to go, as a few have been missed. Perimeter shooting has looked pretty crisp thus far. So Madeira to inbound. Dangerous inbounds pass is taken away. Yet another launched pass from Genesis through the contact. It is Maddie Martinez with the lay-in. Zakora against the press and a tie-up. Will give the ball right back to the Maroon as back-to-back turnovers forced by this stifling defense.
That is now what Madeira is looking for in the second period. They definitely want to lock down this Maroon offense, though. They haven't shifted their defense quite yet.
I was about to say Genesis had an excellent passing day, but then an errant pass turned over the old announcer's jinx. Still, Episcopal done a good job in the early going of this second quarter. The defense forced 2 turnovers already, as the half-court traps certainly worked, certainly part of the game planning that Coach Reed implemented today.
They were working on that a lot during practice yesterday.
Amel's mid-range shot is off back iron. Second and third opportunities missed. That was Amaka down low. Here comes Genesis. 1-on-2. Takes it all the way herself but it just won't go down. But it will stay on the side of the maroon.
So close there, and the Madeira really lucked out that Genesis didn't make that shot. That would have been a killer for the momentum.
Inbound set. 2 in the same place. Cover handing off to Genesis. Right by her defender, and the floater won't fall in. Genesis has gotten a few good looks, but just haven't got them to go. Now against the press. See Mia. Been quite a few turnovers against this press today, but a foul by the Maroon, a little bit over-aggressive there.
Madeira definitely, shored up on their rebounding game in the second period here, and they've not let the Maroon get as many easy opportunities as they had at the first. And that has brought the points gap down significantly from how many points they could get on second opportunities and third opportunities.
Another deflected pass, as you've seen turnover after turnover from Madeira. Genesis in transition. Right-handed fling goes to Martinez. Count that as an assist, as Genesis is Johnny on the spot for that one.
Genesis with 10 points now, sorry.
Zikora passes out of the trap. Into the contact, Amel. Nice cut in the mid-range and off the glass and in. It was Mia. Seen a lot of mid-range shots taken by Madeira. That's been their best offense thus far. Genesis asking for a cut into the corner. Nisha Cover steps into a 3. It is just short. And Madeira collecting, and a timeout called by Madeira as 24-11 the score, just under 6 minutes remaining.
I'm curious to see if Madeira might use their size advantage in the paint here. They've been taking those mid-range twos as you're talking about, but they do have a significant size advantage, and I'm wondering if they could get the ball. If they could get the ball down into the paint, if they could possibly capitalize on opportunities there, and also, get the rebounds that they've been missing on the offensive side of the court. And the Maroon here, they need to shore up on their passing game. I've seen a few errant passes, a few errant shots. They just need to try and lock in, slow down, and control the pace of this game.
We see more and more fans continue to trickle in here. Certainly a big day for the Maroon and the seniors involved, as the shot off glass and in, running 2 from Zikora. Martinez, aggressive and a kick. Trying to get the ball to Victoria Pia on the post-up. Dixon had a layup, lost the pass. Now Nisha picking up her dribble on the wing. Apia against good defense from Amaka, but good hustle there from the sophomore Kincaid Goodwin. Shot clock did not reset. Nisha Roy has to hurry, sees it, tosses up a prayer. Then Victoria is rejected on the inside, but immediately to the trap, or the Maroon. Escaping, it is Mia. Mid-range 2 is well off. Underneath and a foul, as Amaka, good job on the offensive glass. She'll head to the line to shoot 2.
Madeira starting to take advantage of the size difference within the paint. These foul shots are going to be crucial.
So 2 free throws. 2 free throws knocked in as Madeira continues to slice into the deficit. It is just 9 now as Madeira back to the man-to-man. Certainly has been more effective in the zone. Dixon gets a good look from the corner, and skying for the rebound was Mia, who is then falling to the ground. Everett collecting. Dixon off the turnover, drives into the lane, loses the ball. And more transition points trying, Madeira will try to find, but good defense is Kincaid Goodwin. Frenetic pace of back and forth. Dixon from the elbow, cashes it home, and points from the senior. Definitely needed from the Episcopal side.
That pace is just not sustainable for Madeira, though. They cannot be having up and down possessions like that with such a limited bench.
Episcopal getting open looks from the perimeter, but screen on the inside. Everett, another one missed at point blank range. She definitely gonna want that one back. Dixon takes a mid-range 2, and it is pure. Cover Dixon with back-to-back jump shots.
Cofer 2 for 3 from field goal.
Zakora coast to coast. That was not great defense from the Maroon, but shot not paid off as Nisha tried to loft one over the defense, but it is volleyball spiked out of bounds.
The Maroon were definitely bailed out there on that last possession. See what Cover can do from under the basket here. Probably gonna look for Genesis from 3.
On the inbounds, Genesis may have had an open look, but passed it up. Cross-court pass. Goodwin was a little bit short on the 2. Now, pushing the break, Zakora missing the lay-in. Certainly another good opportunity for transition points from Madeira. Instead, Everett takes a wide open look, but the shot not falling for her today, but stealing the pass underneath the glass. Victoria Pia rolls off the rim. There is a lid on the basket for the Maroon, and now 3-on-1. Where is the transition defense? As that is an easy 2 from the mid-range game.
Curious to see the Maroon transition defense kind of fall apart here in the second period. I wonder if it's fatigue, if it's the momentum just not going their way on the offensive side, or if it's just demoralization after those few missed shots there from point-blank range.
But you'd have to think that with only 6 players, Episcopal would have the advantage there, but it's been Madeira really pushing the pace in this period. As a foul on the rebounding action, the ball will be back to Madeira, but head coach Katrina Reed wants to talk things over as the Maroon a little bit lackadaisical to end the second period.
Quite curious. We've seen kind of a reverse in strategies as we predicted earlier on in the game. You know, Madeira really pushing to go quick up and down the court, and the Maroon trying to slow down the tempo and take their time in each possession. Hasn't really paid off these last few minutes, though, and I'm starting to wonder if the Maroon are really going to start to rotate to, you know, a too heavy offense, or something where they really focus on taking easier shots instead of more contested ones down in the paint.
Well, I think part of the issue is Episcopal sending lots of people to the offensive glass right now, but they're really getting burned as Madeira's found some quick shots going to the rim. You have to wonder if the Maroons start to, you know, get back on defense rather than crash the offensive glass, which I know is part of their offensive philosophy, but really not working in the second quarter.
That's true, and also with such a point advantage, it's probably not going to impact them as much if they do send a few less players to the offensive glass and mainly focused on defensive rebounds and the defensive play and really control this game to its end.
Starters back into the game for the Maroon. Madeira, red jerseys, chance to cut into the deficit. It has been about 11 the entire first half. Episcopal came out of the gates fast early, but really not having as much success as they were in the first quarter as poked away. It was Anya. Genesis with the easy lay-in. Could not convert. Dixon now. Back it out. Genesis takes an open look. Glancing off rim. More offensive rebounds. And turned over. 2-on-1. Great job by Genesis Villegas to get back as Genesis will push. Firing a pass. Everett losing it underneath. And another one will not drop as Madeira has to work against the trap now. Tossing it away. Genesis, Everett, and one will finally go down for the senior. Former player Shaima James in the crowd loves it. And as Zakora tried one high off the glass again, would not go down. 30-17, Nisha Martinez works against the defense of Madeira. Dixon left alone. Long distance three-point shot, wouldn't fall, and jump ball will give the ball back to Madeira.
Hopefully we'll see a little bit more life on that Episcopal offense after they broke the lid off the basket there. First two in quite a while for the Maroon.
Bit of a scoring drought, and it's good to see Anya Everett finally get one to go. Had a lot of point-blank opportunities, it just wouldn't seem to fall. Now against the press, a mishandled pass. That was Mia. Genesis loves the transition bullet, and Dixon finishes and one. And Cover with a chance for a three-point play. Could not find the free throw as another mishandled play in the backcourt as Cover causes a turnover. You have to think Madeira needs to send more players in the backcourt as really not many passing outlets for Madeira against the press.
100%. And they just have not been able to connect and get across the half-court line.
Looping cross-court pass, it was Dixon who turned it over. Now, spinning pirouette in the paint, and it is Mia laying it in for two. Genesis, hesitation, nice move, and the floater is as there is just 5 seconds now. 3 seconds, Madeira has to hurry. They will not get a shot off as that concludes the first half. Episcopal High School Maroon with the lead, 34 to Madeira Girls School, McLean, Virginia, 19. As
we'll send it down to Grace McGinty to interview Coach Reed.
Coming back to the action here on Ainsley Court, Episcopal Girls Varsity with a commanding lead against Madeira. Derek Spears play-by-play alongside Jay Sigler. Jay, what do you expect to see from the Maroon coming into the second half here?
I expect the Maroon to try and force some quick turnovers and some quick points here to steal back that lead that they had and steal back the momentum like we're seeing right here.
Genesis laying off to cover in a foul on the shot attempt. As Jay alluded to, quick turnover leading to points and free throw opportunities for the Maroon. Certainly something that head coach Reed stressed in the locker room.
Cover hitting the strip for the third time today.
Episcopal had a 33-point win against Madeira the last time these two teams played in McLean. Dixon knocks down both, and Episcopal now doubling up Madeira. Working against the trap, 4 defenders all there. Genesis, Dixon, clean look from the corner is not there this time, and a jump ball underneath. Might have had an eye poke there.
Definitely some tough play from both teams here. Madeira's going to look to try and continue their momentum at the end of the first half and close down this lead.
Madeira struggling to break the half-court trap of Episcopal, but a foul on a reach. They're going to get cover. Inbounds pass, taken away. Genesis, an ankle snatcher, in and out, but is deflected underneath the rim. Would have been a highlight reel clip. Instead, a 2-on-1, and going the other way. Charge drawn by Anya.
Mr. Slack excited about that. He was touching on trying to draw fouls and get those easy turnovers that are crucial to stealing back momentum.
Off a screen. Genesis, Madeira back to the zone. Episcopal not really moving that much on offense. Villegas, Everett sees the clock and a double dribble. It'll head back to Madeira. Pass nearly taken away. Instead, hard off the glass and in. It was Luisa with a nice scoop to the hoop. Genesis. Bounce it to Nisha. Takes the defender and has it ripped away. Good play there by Amel defensively.
Subbing in for a bigger lineup for both teams. Looks like Madeira is going to look for a quick pass into the paint and a quick shot.
But instead, Genesis with other plans as yet another turnover off the inbounds. Nisha, no one picking her up. Genesis attacking the closeout. Into the lane, mid-range 2 is well off the mark. And Madeira with another stop on defense.
Substitutions for the Maroon. Kincaid Goodwin checking in.
Kincaid has it rejected by Amaka on the inside. Nisha, only 5 to work. rolling to Genesis, who is fouled hard on the way up. And she will earn those points at the free throw line.
Free throws becoming a staple of this Episcopal offense in the third period here. Been to the line 4 times. Slightly bigger lineup for the Madeira here. Looking for fresh legs.
One of two as rebound secured by Amaka, who just holds it like a running back. And Episcopal will retain possession.
Curious to see her not try and bring the ball up above her head. Don't know if the Maroon would have been able to reach it there, but last the Maroon get the ball, passing it out to Cover.
Cover out of the corner, cross-court pass against the zone. Genesis, another cross-court pass. Dixon this time will take the three, but is well short. And it is saved on the inline, excuse me. Genesis, bounce it, Kincaid. The no jump goes down for 2. And Episcopal back with a 20-point lead as yet another turnover. Dixon all the way. No one really defending there. But instead, it is Zakora working against Apia. No one to really give the ball to. Finally, Amel cutting. Episcopal defense certainly with renewed energy. I've seen a lot of turnovers. High pass, Amaka, lefty, can't finish. And Nisha will push it.
Looks like Madeira's been trying to take advantage of their size in the paint, but they just haven't been able to bring those shots down as Genesis makes a 3. Looks like the Maroon have shifted their strategy and put Kincaid Goodwin as the designated big man down low under transition, looking to prevent any easy cherry-picked points.
Genesis with a nice steal and a frustration foul from Zakora. Hard push. And that is the 5th foul of the quarter as Episcopal will be in the bonus now. Maggie Harton getting ready to check in for the first time this game. Maybe not, as she is called back from the scores table. That one touches every part of the rim, but won't drop. Genesis goes 1 of 2. And Episcopal back with the 1-2-2.
Still leaving Kincaid down low to prevent any easy points.
Against the defense of Episcopal, stop and pop won't drop for Mia. As Genesis to Kincaid from the elbow. Couldn't find it. 1 on 3. Someone's open. But Kincaid with DB-like reading ability and a hard foul. Wow. Cover is taken down by Zakora.
Kincaid Goodwin, exemplary defense there. Absolutely locked down in the paint as of late.
Jude Logan. Free throw off the mark. Good box out there by Madeira, but taken away. Dixon throws it away underneath the basket. Anya is wide open, but just a little bit too antsy there.
The Maroon 50% from 2, and also 50% from the foul line.
Another deflected pass, nearly a takeaway. Instead, wide open underneath the rim. Lily couldn't make it, and it's Louisa laying it in. Good job there by Madeira.
Breaking their scoring drought in this third period. Some younger players getting some experience here on the Maroon side of the ball. Number 14, Shelby Chapman. And number 23, Maggie Harton.
Shelby, 6-foot freshman, certainly has a lot of potential. As Lily, underneath the rim, this time gets it to drop. And that's now 2 transition efforts now from Madeira on back-to-back possessions that have fallen. Genesis looking for Maggie, a good shooter. They find Anya inside, who can't connect on the lay-in. And pushing the pace now, it is Amel. Zakora into Genesis, pulls up, and it will drop. 6-0 mini run now from Madeira.
Quite the opposite of what their first part of the third quarter has been.
Maggie Harton thought about a 3, instead gives it back to Cover. Genesis, time working against her. Everett, long 2, off back iron, tapped away by Shelby. Instead, one-on-one, Zakora, Cover gets out of the way, and that's now multiple points as Episcopal's failed to get back. Genesis now working against the Madeira defense that hadn't gotten set. And a foul underneath as Madeira's established some momentum.
Yeah, if I was Coach Reed here, I would definitely put back in a few, more players. Nisha, Kincaid, bring Kincaid back into that lower position for the transition points, as she's, hasn't allowed really anything in transition. And bringing that lockdown defense will demotivate the Madeira and stop their 10-point swing here.
Timeout by Madeira.
Let's see what type of personnel the Maroon come out with after this timeout. Could be looking at a more defensive lineup to establish their dominance at the end of the third quarter. The Madeira are 100% going to try to continue to capitalize on their efforts in transition. They've been able to crack this Maroon defense and flip the script on the Maroon, as they've been the one taking advantage of the transition moments in this game as of late. Quite the contrary to the first half. Also, much needed rest for the 6 players in Madeira.
Jay, if you're Episcopal right now, you've given up 8 straight to Madeira. What are you saying in the huddle?
I'm 100% focusing on defense here. If they can stop Madeira's points, then they'll be able to really demoralize and deflate this team. And we've seen when they get to point droughts, they've been prone to making mistakes and throwing desperation passes and shots up that really aren't good connections overall.
Touch foul on Genesis. Episcopal up to 4 fouls in the quarter. That one deflects off Madeira last. Episcopal with yet another turnover forced.
quite a number of turnovers in this game. Miss Reed is definitely going to tighten up on that come to practice tomorrow.
Dixon, corner look, rims out, and not looking up. Genesis is looking up. Everett back out to Genesis. Thought about a deep one. Instead, will reset.
The Maroon controlling the tempo here, trying to slow it down and get rid of the Madeira's momentum as they pass it in for an easy two.
Everett underneath, but it rolls off. Apia, that one also just in and out. And Madeira settling. Another defensive stop. Amel breaks the press. Zakora. Nearly a turnover and a foul. As that is the 5th by Episcopal, and that will send Mia to the free throw line.
Definitely a less clean quarter as we've seen previously. Genesis might get a rest here. Maddie Martinez checking in for the Maroon.
We've seen Episcopal ratchet up the defensive intensity, but a little bit overzealous as they committed a couple fouls. Even in the backcourt going for the ball. A couple of substitutions from both sides now.
Bigger lineup for Madeira. Cut the lead to
16.
16 now. Was waiting on that free throw there.
Madeira continuing to chip away. Maddie Martinez. Been pretty quiet the second half. Dixon wide open. And inside the restricted area, that flip shot will go. Now it's Zakora. Give it up, Amel.
Looking for something to end off the quarter with possibly a 3.
3 seconds to go. Madeira sees it, hoist, and they can't find it. And Episcopal with a 48-30 lead at the end of the 3rd quarter. And at the end of the 3rd quarter, it is time for Fan of the Game. And our Fan of the Game today is Chandler Brown, the junior. Maybe a future cheerleader here at Episcopal. Seen her at many contests this winter. She is the Fan of the Game today.
Definitely making an impact.
Certainly seeing a lot of fans trickle in and out in attendance here today for senior night. We're Episcopal and an 18-point lead. Maybe not as crisp as they would have wanted, especially on the defensive side today, but have really been in control for the most of the way here.
Definitely looking to extend their 5-game win streak. Sorry. Crucial to gaining momentum in these closing weeks of the season. The Maroon have historically been unstoppable in the 4th quarter. Defensively, let's see what they can do.
Madeira puts it in play. Amel has been really the primary ball handler against the Episcopal traps and against the Episcopal press today. Mia looking for anyone open. Zakora. Louisa. Wild into the lane. And I believe they're going to get Victoria Pia for the foul.
That'll be 2 shots for Madeira. Looking to bring the lead of the Maroon down to 16. Once more. First one doesn't go. Coach Reed not making any adjustments during the stoppage in play.
That one is short, And a layup maybe passed up as really no one guarding Mia. Mako will try, but that one also glancing off rim. And missed opportunity there for Madeira as Episcopal with a chance to get the early dagger here. Cover, pass fake, then launches. Nisha, back to Cover, steps into a three that is short, and Martinez with a hustle play saves it for the Maroon.
Maddie Martinez taking nothing for granted there. And she'll get an opportunity here. No
Jab
good.
step into a jump shot, but that one will stay with Episcopal as crowd beginning to get louder.
Coach Reed calling out a play here. Might be looking for Anya down low or Nisha from the three.
Dixon. And a moving screen from Victoria. Trying to drop something for Cover in the corner, but shuffling the feet while setting a screen.
Coach Reed disappointed with the outcome of that play. The Maroon forcing a press here. Madeira breaks it.
Amaka into Anya, but that's the second offensive foul drawn by the senior co-captain Anya Everett today. Took that one right in the chest. That's certainly really putting it all on the line.
Definitely unparalleled effort from Anya Everett today.
Dixon cutting to the free throw line in the middle of the zone. And if you can get the ball to that middle of the zone, then things really start to break down. You can drive to the lane, kick out for three. Really like the free throw line. It's a high IQ play by Cover, as we see substitutions being made. Lily checking back in for Amaka.
Kincaid checking in the game, moving into a more defensive lineup here.
Kincaid might have gotten deflected, and Martinez was rejected. It was Amel who finds Zakora off the glass and in on the banker. And once again, Madeira has been hovering about 16, 15 this entire way, but they can't get a stop when it really matters as Cover Dixon once again finds the bottom of the net.
Scoring drought for both teams broken there in their back-to-back possessions. First points of the quarter.
Zakora, Amel takes the three, rattles out, but Louisa is underneath the rim, and no one on the weak side as Cover fouls.
Something that I expect to see more of here is the Madeira trying to really speed up their tempo with 5 minutes and 34 seconds remaining and an 18-point gap. It's going to be hard to stay at this pace and make up their lead sustainable.
You got the opportunity to talk to Coach Reed yesterday. What did you glean from that conversation?
She was really stressing the transition offense and defense, something that we've seen a lot here from the Maroon. And she really talked about slowing it down and controlling the clock in the final few minutes of the game, something that we're probably going to see here as Maddie Martinez is looking for Cover inside. Cover takes a shot, no good. A lot of rebounds worked on yesterday as well, crucial to keeping control of the ball. A lot of all-around effort yesterday.
Baseline drive, it is Zakora fouled by Martinez, who disagrees with the call, but Coach Reed tells her to stop disagreeing.
Ten total fouls for the Maroon in the second half. Gonna need to tighten up there as the game comes to a close.
Madeira really left a lot of points at the line. Certainly could be a closer game. Missed on the last few they've taken. That one will fall in.
Bigger lineup for the Maroon here. Episcopal trying to probably counteract the defense in the paint.
Kincaid in the perimeter. As you've referenced, Jay, Madeira really letting the Maroon have the open threes around the perimeter as Amaka denies Cover, and that one will head to Madeira. They've done a good job on defense in the fourth.
Episcopal giving them that same look with Kincaid down low and a four-man press. Timeout called by Coach Reed here. What do you think they're talking about in the Madeira huddle, Dirk?
Well, I think, as you said, Madeira's done a good job of getting the free throw line. Then you start knocking down those free throws. They're going to look for quick turnover or a jump ball, anything to get the ball back to them as quickly as they can to try to cut into the 17-point lead. If you're Episcopal, you want to keep possession of the ball, especially without turning it over. You already committed 4 fouls, so you don't want to foul anymore. But I think your Episcopal just really want to focus on putting this one away, not turning the ball over especially.
100%. I'd be curious to see here if Madeira shifts into a press. They've been letting the Maroon bring the ball up pretty easily thus far. See what they do here. Although it looks like, Madeira's ball.
Luisa against the press, keeping the pivot foot down but being blocked by Kincaid, hiking the ball through the legs to a 3. What a play. Don't see that one very often, but it goes down. That was a Mel from beyond the arc.
Not necessarily known for their three-pointers, this team, but that definitely has an impact in the closing minutes of this fourth quarter, stealing the momentum away from the Maroon.
Who says there aren't trick plays in basketball, Jay?
Not me.
Dixon, deep 3. Hasn't seemed to find her perimeter touch as Amaka with another rejection. Amel. Trapped. Now finds it. One dribble pull-up is off front rim. It was Mia who had a clean look. Now it's the Genesis. Cover, patient, and a kick.
Substitution for the Maroon. Cover Dixon coming out. Anya Everett coming in.
Nice set on the inbounds. Kincaid had it deflected. It was a good shot fake, but needed to bring it down for a second, but then just giving it away. Genesis will not challenge Amaka, but the pull-up is no good.
The Maroon really need to knock down these shots in these closing minutes. They've allowed the Madeira to really walk all over them, and they haven't really been able to produce in this fourth quarter. It's really hurting them. Only 2 points in the last 5 minutes.
Good effort from Victoria, but she was out of bounds. Amel, feed it. Coach Reed wanting a 10-second call. Instead, Luisa all the way to the rim, and then jump ball's called. Good job by Nisha on the glass as Episcopal will keep possession.
Curious to see no press here from Madeira. You would think with about 3 minutes remaining and momentum on their side, they would look for an easy turnover and points, but they simply are just not giving the Maroon any pressure to get across half court.
Well, I'm no expert at math, but you have to think that Episcopal wants to hold and keep the ball for as long as they can, run the shot clock down, and then maybe take a shot, but instead they're going to turn the ball over immediately. As Madeira once again with an opportunity. This game is not over. We've definitely seen crazier things happen.
100%. And it's curious because Madeira is giving the Maroon an opportunity to get 10 seconds of runoff on the shot clock every single time the Maroon get the ball because they do not pressure them to get across court. And with their 2 points there, I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference if they keep letting the Maroon get across court with no pressure and no opportunity for turnovers.
It was a set play off the inbounds. Amaka laid it in on the second try. Another near turnover as a jump ball. Will give the ball to Madeira, and Coach Reed wants a timeout. Sloppy play by the Maroon in the last couple minutes.
The Maroon definitely seem like they're getting a little too comfortable with their lead. Cut down to 12 now from the initial 24 at one point. Definitely a change of pace. Madeira cutting it in half has been a shock to Coach Reed. She seems quite frustrated in the huddle, and I would be too. Probably going to draw up some sort of play here to get some quick, easy points to try and bring the momentum back towards the Maroon. Once again, 2 points in this entire quarter for Episcopal. 12 for Madeira. In these last 25 seconds, what adjustments do you think will be made on Madeira's side of the ball?
Well, as you said, I think they have to start pressing at some point. I know that they did a good job forcing turnovers by the Maroon in the half court, but I think they need to try to continue to speed up Episcopal. If you're Episcopal, you have to keep the ball in your possession. You cannot give away turnovers like they have been. And it'll be interesting to see what sort of play is drawn up in the timeout from Coach Reed.
And it's curious to see also that Madeira have been really clean this half when it comes to fouls. Only one foul. They have 4 opportunities to stop the clock in the closing moments of the game without using a timeout, which could be crucial to get a few points off inbound plays.
Well, Episcopal was a little bit aggressive, especially in the early part of this fourth quarter, as that one is turned over. Good job there, intercepting the pass. Nisha on the wing, off the screen, off another screen. No one moving. Martinez. Episcopal needs to put up a shot. Dixon, Everett, mid-range 2, won't drop, and it is out of bounds. Back to Madeira.
The Maroon, regardless, sucking up a lot of clock there. Almost 30 whole seconds drained, which is devastating for Madeira's hopes in coming back. They really need to be more aggressive in general, defensively, if they want to bring this game back.
Zakora into the post, Amaka. Second effort, using the height, it won't go. On the perimeter, three-pointer, launched and hit. It is a Mel. That's 2 in the quarter, and the lead is 9, which is the closest it's been since the first quarter.
Coach Reed getting slightly anxious here, calling out a play. The Maroon need points in this possession.
Episcopal will hold. Genesis, one-on-one. Double team comes. Everett, 9 seconds to go. Genesis, mid-range 2, fall away. Offensive rebound, taken away. It is Amaka, and here's a Mel. Amaka's a pass. Louisa, 3-on-2, all the way to the rim and a foul. That is not what you want to do if you're the Maroon in this situation.
Amaka, definitely one of the impact players in this game. Madeira curiously sending no one down to assist with rebounding if Madeira were to miss both of these shots.
Free throw off the mark. Need these desperately. Free throw shooting percentage from Madeira has not been high, as 0 for 2. Episcopal, probably their last possession, will take a shot. They will let the game clock go as far down as they can, holding a 9-pop lead. Genesis, one-on-one. Double comes. Dixon, the dagger does not go down, and instead, 30 seconds, Madeira has to hurry. Amel all the way, coast to coast, and the finish. 20 seconds to go, but Episcopal will just hold the rock and dribble it out here. Madeira not fouling.
Curious, no press, no foul. Seems like a missed opportunity for Madeira. Interesting coaching decision.
Madeira definitely had the momentum in that fourth quarter, as a little bit tenuous at the end for Episcopal, but they come away with a victory on senior night, 50-43. Excellent play by senior Cover Dixon, honored in her final game. On Ainslie Court, Derek Spears, Jay Sigler on EHS Live, signing off.